Hi everyone, my name is Emily Holdorf and I'm your campus dietitian here at Colgate. And today we're going to learn how to make mac and cheese. So we're going to start off with a very simple recipe. It's all made right here on your stovetop, and you can do this whether you're in your dorm kitchen, your apartment, or if you're back at home as well. So to get started, we are going to first combine some vegetable broth. So we're just adding it to a pot right here on the stove. I'm just turning on my burner, and then we're gonna add some whole milk. So this is going to be a single serving of mac and cheese. So if you are just looking for a quick and easy meal, this is definitely one of those options. So we've got our milk, we have our vegetable broth, and we're gonna bring that to a boil. So we'll turn that up. We're gonna add in some spices. I have right here a mixture of garlic powder and onion powder. So since it's just a single serving, you'll notice that it's just kind of an estimate on the spice department. So I'm just gonna do a couple pinches of this garlic and onion powder mixture. We're also going to add in, I have a small little pat of butter right here. So we're just gonna add that into there. And then I also have some yellow mustard. So this is gonna add some nice flavor to the mac and cheese sauce. So I'm just adding a little dollop or so in there of the mustard. So just mixing that together, and once this comes to a boil is when we're going to add in our pasta. So while that comes to a boil, I'm just going to mention that in Shaw Wellness, we are focusing on emotional wellness for this month of October. So we figured, why not learn how to cook some yummy mac and cheese, but add a few little additions to make it just a little bit healthier. So you can still enjoy that comfort food, but boost nutrition with some easy additions. So today we're going to be using whole grain pasta. So you can see right here, we have our pasta. So this is going to add a little bit of extra fiber than your traditional white pasta would. And you'll also notice that we used part broth, part milk as well. So that's also going to cut down on some of the fat involved in making regular mac and cheese, but you'll still have that delicious taste. So we're coming to a boil here. I'm gonna add my pasta. So I'm just gonna mix that up. And the nice part about this is that this is pretty much made in one pot, which is handy. So you're just going to let the noodles boil in that milk and broth mixture for about 8 to 10 minutes until the pasta is cooked all the way through. And you'll notice that the liquid kind of starts to thicken up a little bit. So we're gonna let that continue to go here on the stove. But also, another thing I want to mention as a nice little easy addition to any type of mac and cheese, but if you're making this, you could easily add some frozen veggies, whether it's broccoli, peas, things like that, to just add a little bit of extra nutrition, extra fiber, vitamins and minerals in there as well. Or if you wanted to make this a little bit heartier of a meal, you could add some meat into the mix as well. So whether it's some ham, tuna even can go in to make like a tuna mac and cheese. So whatever kind of protein option you're feeling to make it a little bit more substantial, you could do that as well. So you're just gonna wanna continue to stir your pasta and milk mixture. I'm also gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper to just season it up a little. So we've got some salt and some pepper in there. So As this cooks, the other thing that I'm going to mention is the cheese that we're using. So this is already pre-shredded cheese, but you could always buy a block of cheese and shred it yourself. But we have a marble cheddar mix here, and we also have Parmesan cheese to just add a little bit of sharpness and extra flavor in the mix. So once our pasta is pretty well cooked through, I already cooked my pasta a little bit ahead of time just for the purpose of time for this video, but once your pasta is cooked through, what you're going to want to do is just take the pasta off the heat and add in your cheese blend. So we're going to do that. So I just turned off my burner, and then I'm going to add in my cheese mixture. And so what you're going to want to do with this is just mix it up to evenly melt the cheese. And you'll notice that this is going to help thicken up the cheese sauce as well. So we're just mixing this up, but I think this is a really super easy recipe, and it's something to keep on hand when you have those busy days. Maybe you just want something quickly, and this is a little bit more nutritious than just a box of mac and cheese. So you have that option to make this. And like I said, whether you're in a dorm kitchen or an apartment or even at home, this is super quick to make and throw together, which is awesome. So I'm just going to add it to this bowl right here. So as it continues to cool, the cheese sauce will continue to thicken up and things like that, but you have a really easy stovetop mac and cheese recipe right here. So moving on, I also want to demonstrate how to make a vegan cheese sauce for those of you who are either dairy-free or all the way vegan. So this is something that is actually pretty interesting to make. You use a mixture of potatoes, carrots, nutritional yeast, and some liquid, and blend it up to make this really actually delicious cheese sauce. And this can be used whether you are making mac and cheese like this, or you could use the cheese sauce as like a nacho cheese. That I've tried before and has been really good. So you could just add like some taco seasoning into the mix, and then it's like a nacho cheese. So there's a lot of different options that you can do with this cheese sauce, which I think is super fun. So the one thing you're going to need is a blender. That's pretty important for the cheese sauce, but ahead of time I already boiled up some potatoes and carrots. So you'll see right here I have some potato. I just cut them up into little cubes. The size is, as long as they're pretty relative in size, you don't have to be super fancy in your cutting skills. But we have our potato, and then I have a carrot as well. And so what I'm going to do is I boiled them up about 15 to 20 minutes until they're soft, so like fork tender. And so what I'm going to do is just add this boiled potato and carrot mixture into my blender. And the one thing you're going to want to do is make sure that you save some of the liquid that you boiled, the water that you boiled the potatoes and carrots in, because that's going to help. We're going to blend that, a little bit of that into the cheese sauce to help thicken it up. So we have our potatoes and carrots right there into the blender. Then you're just going to add literally everything to the blender to mix it up. So I'm just going to add a couple tablespoons of olive oil. then we're going to take about a quarter of a cup I'm making about 4 servings of this cheese sauce, so it's a little bit different measurements than the recipe you all have received, but we're just going to add some of the cooking liquid in there, just to help things move around. Then I'm going to add some nutritional yeast. So when you buy nutritional yeast in the store, this is the container that it comes in a lot of times. And this is a really great cheese substitute. So if you're vegan, dairy-free, things like that, it just adds a really nice flavor. It's a little more similar to Parmesan cheese, I would say, but it just comes in this little sprinkly type format that you can put on top of things. So whether you're putting it on top of pasta, it's really good on top of popcorn for like a cheddar popcorn type of deal. So we're going to add our nutritional yeast to add some of that cheesy flavor in there. Also, a good tip about nutritional yeast is that it's high in B12. So if you are vegan, super important to get that B12 since you're not consuming it from animal products. So we have our nutritional yeast in there. We're going to add some of our seasoning again, similar to the regular mac and cheese. So I just have my garlic and onion powder here again, just adding a couple pinches of that in there. And then some salt and pepper. And that's about it on the seasoning aspect. So we got that. And then what we are gonna do is just blend it all together. So you may need to just kind of help it get moving a little bit, but another thing that will help is if it is a little on the thicker side, just kind of add some more of that cooking liquid to continue to help it blend up. So you can kind of see it's pretty bright yellow. So it definitely looks like a cheese sauce, which is pretty cool, I think. So the carrots help add that nice color. But you can see it's pretty cheese-like. I think it's super awesome. And I'm gonna pour it in this bowl right here so you can see it a little bit better. So there's our cheese sauce. And like I said, it's super delicious over whether it's pasta to make some mac and cheese like this, or using it as like a nacho cheese sauce. That's pretty good too. So basically, you have your cheese sauce already mixed up for the vegan mac and cheese, and the only part you would have to do to make the mac and cheese is just cook up some of the noodles. So cook that according to package directions, and then just pour some of this cheese sauce right over top, and you have some really delicious vegan mac and cheese. So one more thing I do want to touch on before we wrap up today is if you are gluten-free, I have a couple different options for you to try out. So right here, I just have a box of gluten-free pasta. This is one of my favorites. It's Banza, so it's made from chickpeas. So a little higher in protein, fiber, all of those good things than regular pasta. And when you put it with sauce or a cheese sauce like this, it really doesn't taste very much different than regular pasta at the end of the day. So Banza, this is one of my favorite brands, but you also can find like Barilla has their own gluten-free version. I know Trader Joe's has a gluten-free like spiral option that's made with brown rice and quinoa. So whether it's a pasta made from chickpeas like this, or a rice pasta, or a quinoa pasta, or there are even some new pastas out there, gluten-free pastas on the market that are made with other types of beans as well. So there's a lot of variety out there, but basically you would make both of these recipes the exact same way. And all you would do differently is, if you were gluten-free, make the standard mac and cheese with your gluten-free pasta, and same thing, if you're wanting the dairy-free or vegan option, just cook up some of the gluten-free pasta and pour your cheese sauce right over top, and you have a delicious option for pretty much everyone. So I hope you enjoyed this cooking demo and learned a little bit, and I hope you really enjoy your mac and cheese that you make alongside with us today.